8 days on, 13 days off. If you've watched my content for any length of time, then you've probably already seen this video about the Unicorn FIFO roster that I landed. 1 week on, 2 weeks off.
Right, so I just come off 11-day stint, back working FIFO again. And number one question I got asked when I was there was what roster are you on? And every time I told them what roster I was on, the answer was the same. It was like, how the did you get that roster? It was pretty simple.
Here's the thing, but I'm not sharing it for bragging rights. I'm sharing it because I'm building something. I'm calling it fractional FIFO because it's the start of something that I'm building called the Reserve Bench, which are a team of operators that can plug into a complex site fast, sort out chaos, and help you create flow. This is the first test, so I'm taking it on myself to set the standard for how it's done. So if you're running a project and you need someone short term to come in and help steer the ship, or you know someone on a project that does, DM me the words fractional FIFO and let's have a chat. And to everyone that says you might have got that roster once, Beanie, but it'll never happen again, all I can say is hold my beer, because as John Wayne was famous for saying, it ain't bragging if you did it.
All right, so the roster is 8 days on, 13 days off. So essentially, one on, 2 off. What happened?
Okay, hey, grab the net. Pull back.
All right, when I asked for that roster, everyone said, you're an idiot, Beanie. That won't happen. They are never going to approve that. It's an amazing thing that happens when you're not worried about what the outcome is and you ask for what you want. More often than not, you get it, which is exactly what happened. What I learnt through it, but is that from a lean perspective, if I'm focused on the 10% value-added activity on the week on, I take me 2 off, I get everything I needed to get done just fine. Compresses the time frame, makes me sharper, drives better results quicker. And it removes me, even though I'm the who that drives it all, it removes me as a bottleneck because other people have to step up into play. Someone else has to become the single point of accountability to make it happen when I'm not on site, which is exactly what you want to happen. And this is a failure point for most consultants. They tie everything they do to themselves. So it makes it very hard for you and your project if they're not there for stuff to keep moving, for it to all keep heading in the same direction. That's why they end up in here. There's 70% change management that fails. It's one of the key things, well, in my belief, it's one of the key drivers behind it. Anyway, question for Saturday. We'll keep it simple. When pressure rises on your project, what changes first? Targets or the behaviours? Drop one word in the comments and I'll put the replay link in there after for anyone that missed the live. Results don't talk. That's the thing that we've spoken to all week with Dr. Eli Goldratt. So when I say 8 days on, 13 days off, 13 days off doesn't mean that I'm not still available to your project. Quite the opposite, actually. We've got the ORCA wingman, which will still keep running. And depending on where we are in the process, I'll still dial in from meetings. As you can see, I've got my very own war room set up here in my office. Whiteboards, Kanban boards, big ass calendar. Where is that going over there? Come back here. All the technology I need. All the gear and no idea how to use it. Got everything that I need to run a project right from here. The important part is how we do this. We play you a couple of quick clips and there's a couple of two key takeaways that I want you to pull out of this. 3. Got to be simple. You got to preach it over and over and over. Hence the reason why I'm on day 98. And you got to use a sheepdog mentality, not a bulldog. Let's have a look at the sheepdog versus the bulldog first.
What's your culture like? Well, you can see by the habits of your team.
Wow.
So culture is group habit. So how do we change the culture? We do it really, really
Write that down. Culture is group habit, and then write down what he's about to say next. Do it really, really
slowly and really, really gradually. And my father often told this story. His father, my grandfather, was a sheep farmer.
Oh, wow.
And quite a small farm in rural Ireland, rural Northern Ireland. But my father he always related change, whether it be change in an organisation or change in thinking or any type of change. The best way to create change was to make change slow and gradual and incremental.
The best way to create change is to make it slow, gradual, and incremental. That's what all we do to start with is introduce the ORCA process. Get an ORCA in every day. Get your reps in.
And explained that when my grandfather was rounding up the sheep in the field to try and get them into a pen, he used a sheepdog. Why did he use a sheepdog? Because the sheepdog was really slow, moved around the edge of the field, kind of hid in the grass, but quietly and confidently, over the space of a few minutes, got the sheep into the pen.
Quietly and confidently, you got to round them up.
The sheepdog got the desired outcome, but was really slow about it, really, easy, working slow, whereas the bulldog goes in and splits all the sheep up.
Right.
So what a lot of people do when they come across something like lean, or they come across some new concept that they get really excited about, they go back to their company like a bulldog and say, we're going to do this. It's called lean manufacturing. It's going to change our company. We're going to reduce all this waste, and everybody has to improve, and this is the new way forward. Well, I can tell you right now that that's the wrong way to do it, because we actually done that. We were very much like the bulldog at the start.
Seen it 100 times on a construction site. Superintendent, CM, new one comes into an area. Things are going to change around here. We're not going to do this anymore, what we currently do. Come in like a bulldog. Try and tell everyone it's going to change. As soon as you do that, people switch off. They're not engaged anymore. They go, what's this new harebrained scheme? And they think, we'll just ignore it for a couple of days. It'll soon die off. Heavy on R&R next week, and it'll be completely forgotten about. I bet you. I've said those words myself when I was still on the tools. And guess what? I was right. Always. Bulldog approach is not sustainable, and it goes straight into this bucket here. 70% of change management that actually fails. Two things that you need to take out of the next one. So the sheepdog, slow, incremental, and we're rounding people up. We don't try and change the whole site. We take a small stealth team to the side who want to actually be involved. Don't make them be involved. Take a small team that want to be involved, take them to the side, and we start making the process anti-fragile for them so they can't get attacked by the culture, which is exactly what happened. Next thing has to be simple. That's why we have this very simple loop that we've got here. You've got to repeat it over and over and over. I'll let Dr. Goldratt tell you why.
Otherwise, once again, you'll get huge distortions. Only when you've got the answers to what is the problem and what is the solution, now the time has come to talk about how...
First, you've got to work out what the constraint is, right? And we worked that out earlier in the week because he actually gave us the answer to that as well. The answer is focus. The constraint in the system is management's, well, the people at the front line as well, inability to focus, to stay headed in one direction for any length of time. So we know what the problem is. Next, we've got to create a simple process.
To cause the solution to be implemented. And throughout everything, you have to hammer into people something amazing.
You have to hammer into people. Like a sheepdog, not like a bulldog. What do you think? I've run ORCA every single day for the last 97 days. It's starting to stick. People are starting to notice.
It must be simple. It must be simple. Why do I stress it so much? Somehow, we have come to believe that the more complicated the problem, the more complicated should be the solution. This is totally idiotic. The more complicated the problem, the simpler must be the solution, otherwise it will never ever work. This concept of how to insist on extremely simple solutions is something that people are not used to it. Once again, we have to prove it over and over and over and over and over again.
How many times you got to prove it?
On each function of the organization. Otherwise, when we come to put the strategy and the tactic, we will get something so damn complicated that there is no chance of implementing it. Is it understood, yes or no?
All right. You now know enough about change management to ensure that you don't fall straight into this bucket here. Sheepdog approach, it's got to be simple. We've got here. Modern pre-start, we taught people to see waste and we teach them to see flow. We've got an issue, a stop, and to fix it, we use the ORCA process, debrief. Create lessons learned, photo and video. And create an AI to be able to automate 90% of that at the minute. We share it into school. We'll speak to school tomorrow, where we create yokoten, what the Japanese call yokoten, disseminating information laterally across the organisation. We go back and repeat the loop. If you've been watching these for any length of time, you'll understand that is exactly what Dr. Eli Goldratt's been talking about, is exactly what I've been doing. What Ryan Tierney's been talking about is exactly what I've been doing. Not attacking people going, you must do, you must do, you must do. Sheepdog. Every day, turn up and do my ORCA, come along and watch, show you how it's done. Repeat the same thing over and over. I don't think I've changed the images on this board in the last, if I have, maybe once, in the last 97 days. I've told the same story, that we must follow this loop. We must do ORCA. ORCA is the most powerful process that there is. That's the process that we need to use. Told that same story over and over and over and over and over, different ways, until it starts to sink. And it is. I was talking to a lady in Brisbane yesterday. It's like, it's sinking. It's going in. Anyway, when pressure rises on your project, what actually changes first? The targets or the behaviour? You should know the answer to that. If you still think I'm wrong, call me out. Drop one word in the comments. I'll chuck that replay link again in there. All right, ORCA. Why do we pick ORCA? I don't pick ORCA because it's an easy to remember acronym. I didn't pick it because I thought it was something that might work. I picked it because it's what one of the highest performing organisations on the planet, the RAF, who execute their missions 98%, nearly 99% of the time flawlessly, meaning they get the mission done, use every time they run a mission. I'll let Boo tell you about ORCA right now.
This is the most powerful tool on earth. As an organization, we helped 3 NFL teams win the Super Bowl by teaching them how to use this method by coaching. It's called debrief, and it's only 4 steps. Intention, expectation, or what we call objective. Reality or results, what we call R, result. Curiosity, or what we call cause, the cause of this gap in performance. And A, action. What am I actually going to do about it?
Actually going to suggest an upgrade to the name ORCA. I reckon O should be for obsessive. You need to do it obsessively so that it sticks. Right, let's give it the business, get our ORCA done, and then I am off to the gym. Where are we? ORCA phase 2. Run, ORCA, debrief. a bit of problem with transcription this morning. Run, R-U-N, ORCA, O-R-C-A, debrief. Beanie, completed testing of the new ORCA Wingman prompt. Yes, that was done. AI ORCA Wingman written handover for mocks. That was complete. Write a banger post for tomorrow's live. Action 1, was it complete? Yes. So what's doing first up is going back to the actions board that we had yesterday. Who's doing what, when? And making sure that we've ticked those off. That we're completing the actions that we're actually saying. There's no point creating actions if no one's following up. No one's actually closing them out. Yes. Because we can pull data back from that as well. Where's it getting stuck? Where is the constraint? What's stopping us from moving quicker? What issues don't get closed? And why? Man, this is slow this morning. Yes. Damn, it's slow. I've never seen it so bad. It is Saturday, 28th of February, 2026. The time is 7:01 and the location is Beanie's office. Set this up this way so we can use this ORCA anywhere across site. Anyone can use it any time of the day, and we're tracking data for our lessons learned that we're going to share laterally across the organisation. This thing's going to do most of the work for us. What is the objective of this mission? The objective of today's mission is to get the LinkedIn live done because it is a Saturday, which is a weekend day, and I cut my workload back. Yes, always get to summarise. Always get to summarise and then repeat back to me and go, is that, it says to me, is that correct? So I go, yes or no. So this gives people, when someone says something in the meeting, you know, you get arguments later on, oh, I didn't say that. We've confirmed it. So you said this, give to the AI, he summarises, read that out, is that correct? Is it not? If it's not now, speak up. Not trying to catch people out here, trying to switch people on. This is serious. We're here to make this work. Clarification, is this part of the objective? If yes, no, that's not part. It's just a yes. Yes, it's correct. Because I was speaking to you. I was talking to him and I confused him. What result did you get? The live is currently in progress, and I had a meeting in Brisbane yesterday which was specific off the back of these live. So it's created a interest in one of the who positions. Saturday LinkedIn Live is currently in progress. A meeting in Brisbane occurred yesterday as a direct result of prior live sessions. The meeting generated interest at one of the herd positions. It's not a herd position, it's a who, W-H-O. Yes, that's correct. What caused those results? Consistently executing the framework caused the results. Consistently execution of the defined content framework is generating compounding results. Yes. what actions on your whiteboard, including who does what by when. Upload a photo once complete. All right. It's a Saturday, so there is no who does what when actions today. The only actions is to complete this LinkedIn Live, which will be done soon. He might not like this because I'm not going to give him a photo. Actions must be written. Well, fair enough. All right. Actions for today. No cheating, apparently. Not even for me. Even on a Saturday. Come on. Follow me. All right. What? Wait. Actions today is Beanie. Run live. 28th. Second. 26. That's number 1. Number 2. Wingman. Handover. Notes. 28th. The second. 26. We're going to change this. When? To on Monday. I won't put a note up there because I'll confuse you. And number 3 is Beanie. Banger. Post. Recap of live. Don't get away with nothing. This is the beauty of what I'm talking about. If I wasn't on site and I wasn't pushing people or hurting people to do this process, this is exactly what would have happened. Someone would have done what I just did then. They're going, it's Saturday. Fuck it, Beanie's not here. Don't worry about it. We'll worry about it next week when he gets back. Can't get around it with this. And he goes, no, hang on a sec. You said you were going to do this. You got to do it. Anti-fragile. Beanie, run the live, 28th of the 2nd, Wingman, ORCA, handover notes, Beanie, banger post, recap, stored as open actions. Right, and he's given me the handover. Let's test the handover one more time. Just make sure he is writing that prompt right. Give that to our other wingman who writes our post for LinkedIn. There it is, day 98 or 180. Hydro Snowy Series. Is it 98 or is it 97? No, it's 96. What was he said day 98? Anyway, minor issue. We'll fix that. Take it, use it, make a great week. Tomorrow is construction school news. We're going to have a look at what we're building, which is our AI mocks to get the administration work of a PM down to 14.4 minutes. I'll let another Beanie explain to you how that works. Speak soon. There are 4 metrics that we're going to measure, which are going to give us a health check on our project. Project manager should be able to go to this and look at it. This is the thinking behind the way that I built this, is 1% of a 24-hour day is 14.4 minutes. So if we eliminate all of the waste, you'll need to come back to the screen back here. We eliminate all of the waste, the 90% of waste that is in his day or is in the process of trying to mitigate the 12 causes of project failure and drive the 9 rules of project flow. We get rid of a lot of that. He should be able to, in 14.4 minutes a day, he can go to, back to here, look at his Trello board, look at his TAC plan, review the metrics for full kit, engagement, handoffs and constraints, and have an exceptional idea exactly where his project fits and where it's tracking on those things within 15 minutes, 1% of the day, of a 24-hour day, 14.4 minutes, he should be across everything.